An old miller had amassed a massive debt to his king. In order to pay off the debt, he told a little white lie to the king. He said, "My daughter, who has grown into a beautiful young woman, has the magical ability to spin straw into gold." The king, fascinated by such a creature, demanded that the miller immediately bring his daughter to him. Once she was there at the castle, the king locked her away into a room full of bells of straw and a single spindle. He said, "If you fail to spin all of this straw into gold by morning time, you will surely die." The young woman, she sat down by the straw and started to cry. "What am I going to do? I can't do this." She cried and she cried and she cried, and as the night went on, she fell deeper into despair. After a while, the door opened up, and in walked a very tiny little man with pointy ears, and he looked at her and said, "Young woman, why are you crying so?" "Because my father has told the king that I can spin straw into gold, but I can't, and if I don't do it, I'm going to die." "Oh, really? Is that all? Well, I can do that for you. Have it done in a jiff. What will you give me if I do it for you?" I can give you my necklace." "Very well." And the little man immediately sat down at the spindle, gathered up some straw, and set to spinning the straw into gold. And one spool after the next full of gold he set to the side, and then he left. In the morning, the king came to check on the woman and found that all of that straw had been turned into gold. Ooh, this king was a very, very greedy man. He said, "Oh, I can make even more. I have even more straw." So he took her into an even larger room and put her in there with even more bells of straw and another spindle. He said, "Another chance have you. If you fail to do it this second night, in the morning you will surely die." What am I going to do if this little man doesn't show back up? I don't know what I'm going to do. And she cried and she cried and she cried. And as the night went on, eventually the door opened up. And in walked the little man with the pointy ears. He said, "You're still here. Why are you crying this time?" "Because the king wants even more gold made out of even more straw." "I can do that for you, but it'll come at a cost. What will you give me this time?" I can give you my ring that my mother left for me." "Oh, please do it." "Very well." And he sat down at the spindle and began to spin the straw into gold. And after a while, all the spools that were in there were full of gold, and there was no more straw whatsoever. He left the room. In the morning, the king came back to the room to check on the young woman. He saw all the gold and no straw left behind, and the greed kicked in once again. He took her to a third room, and he said, "Do this again, or in the morning you will die." She sat down a third time and started to cry. "What am I going to do?" As the night went on, she fell deeper and deeper and deeper into despair. But eventually the door opened up, and the little man with the pointy ears walked back in. He said, "Oh, it's you again. Do you need more gold from all of this straw?" "I do." "What can you give me this time?" "I have nothing left to give. I don't know what I'm going to do." "Well, I heard that if you do it this time, that king is going to make you his queen. He's a greedy one. He won't let go of you easily, that's for sure. I'll tell you what, if that happens, and if you have a child, I want you to give your first baby to me." The young woman thought, "Well, I doubt he's going to marry me. I'm just a miller's daughter. And if I do have a child, what are the odds of that?" So she agreed. She said, of course, my first child, you may have it." Very good, very good. And he sat down at the spindle and roar, roar, roar. Before too long, he had filled every single spool in that room full of gold yarn. And there wasn't a lick of straw left. He left once again. In the morning, the king came back in, saw all of the gold, and saw the young woman. And just as the little man had predicted, the king vowed that he would marry her, and they got married that very same day. A year later, the young woman gave birth to a beautiful young child. Oh, the baby was gorgeous, and as soon as she looked at the baby, she fell in love with it. Oh, she took care of it, and a few days later, there came a knock on her door. She opened up the door, and in walked the little man with the pointy ears. He said, "You promised that you would give to me your first child. Today I will take you up on that debt. Give me the baby right now, right in my hands." No, please, anything else, anything but that. Please, please, please. Look, I have all this wealth now. I can give you anything you want. No, I think not. I think I'd rather have something alive to keep me company. Give me the baby, give me the baby, give me the baby. Oh, anything, please. There must be something that I can do. I'll make a deal with you. I will give you 3 days and 3 chances. Each night I will return to you. If by the end of the 3rd day you cannot name my name, oh, that baby is mine. You must give it to me. Okay, I agree, said the woman. The little man left, and immediately the queen sent out several servants to spread throughout the land, finding as many different names as they could possibly find. They returned back to her. The first night, the little man with the pointy ears returned and said, "Have you guessed my name?" Is it Bartholomew? No, it is not. Is it Adam? No, it is not. Is it Eli? No. Is it Sammy? No, it's none of those names, is it? What name could it possibly be? You have not guessed it. That is your first chance. Tomorrow night, I will return. Okay. The next day, the servants went out once again, trying to find the most fantastic, wondrous names they could possibly come up with that maybe this little man went by. The second night came, and he returned, the man with the little ears. Have you guessed it? Is it Sheep Sniffer? No, oh, weird name. Is it Soup Liquor? What? Why would you think no, that's not my name. Is it Boot Sniffer? I'm not gonna smell people. That's not my name. That's so weird. That's not my name. That is your second chance. Tomorrow night is your final chance. If you do not guess my name, the baby is mine. And he left once again. She sent servants out one more time. They traveled far and wide trying to find another name. And just before the sun set on the 3rd day, one rider returned. He said, my queen, I have not found any other new names, but as I traveled through the woods, I came across a house on the top of a very high hill. I snuck up to that house. In front of the house was a large bonfire, and a little bitty man was dancing in a circle on one foot around that bonfire. And I listened close to the song that he was singing. He was chanting over and over and over again, "Oh, today I bake, tomorrow I borrow, the day after that the queen's child comes in, and oh, I am glad that nobody knows that the name I am called is Rumpelstiltskin." The queen was very glad to hear this news. The servant left, and a few moments after, the little man with the pointy ears returned. Have you guessed my name? Is it Henry? No. Is it Thurston? Oh no, you can't guess my name. Is it Azariah? Oh, it's not. One more guess, and the baby is mine. Is it Rumpelstiltskin, and the little man, oh, his face turned bright red. He got so angry, he started to stomp the ground with one foot, just angry, throwing a big fit. Stomped so hard that he stomped a hole into the ground where he fell through, and the hole caved in on him, never to be seen from again. The queen and the baby and the king all lived happily ever after. Hey, if you like stories, and I know that you do, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and click that bell to get notified whenever I upload a new story for you to enjoy. Until next time, keep on popping.